Okay, let's jump right into this. I want you to just imagine, for a second, staring out into the absolute pitch-black void of the cosmos. Just endless, freezing, empty space. Now, picture that darkness literally tearing open right in front of you. What you're seeing is this swirling electric blue and deep purple cosmic tunnel, and it's humming with this incredibly deep resonant energy. Honestly, it looks like pure magic, right? It feels exactly like something pulled straight out of a high-budget science fiction movie. But here's the crazy thing. What we are looking at today in this explainer is actually grounded in some of the most rigorous, mind-shattering mathematics ever conceived by human minds. We are diving headfirst into the ultimate mystery of the universe. We're talking about a phenomenon that literally bends the very fabric of reality itself. So welcome to the absolutely mind-bending physics of wormholes.
Here's the big scenario. What if you could just step through a door and emerge on the completely opposite side of the universe in a matter of seconds? Think about that. No centuries-long cryosleep, no massive generational starships where your great-great-grandchildren are the ones who finally arrive, literally just a single step. You take a deep breath, you step inside this threshold, and instantly, in the blink of an eye, the familiar stars of our Milky Way vanish behind you, and they're immediately replaced by the blazing light of an entirely different, totally alien galaxy. I know, it sounds completely impossible. We've all been taught that the distances in space are just too vast, that the void is way too wide for us to ever cross. But this explainer is going to show you exactly how the deepest, most fundamental laws of physics might actually leave a backdoor unlocked for us.
Now, to understand how we could possibly pick that cosmic lock, we've got to start with the ultimate rulebook. I want you to think of Einstein's theory of relativity, not as some dry, dusty science you learned in high school, but as the actual unbreakable operating system of our universe. What Albert Einstein proved is that space and time are not two separate things happening in the background. They are actually woven together into a single, flexible, four-dimensional fabric. We call it space-time. And gravity? Well, gravity isn't just some invisible magnetic pull. It's the literal warping and curving of that fabric by incredibly heavy objects, like stars and planets. But you see, this incredibly elegant operating system comes with a strict, non-negotiable rule. It establishes a fundamental speed limit that governs absolutely everything. And that brings us to a massive, glaring problem for human space travel, the ultimate cosmic speed limit. We're talking about the speed of light. Under the normal rules of Einstein's universe, absolutely nothing, no ship, no probe, no human, can travel faster than light through space. It is the absolute maximum velocity allowed by physics, period. And because the universe is so incomprehensibly huge, that's a real issue. Even if we could somehow travel exactly at the speed of light, it would still take us over 100,000 years just to cross from one side of our own Milky Way galaxy to the other. Over 100,000 years. So without breaking this fundamental rule, humanity is effectively locked inside our little local galactic neighborhood forever. Our grandest, wildest dreams of true cosmic exploration would be permanently grounded by the ticking clock of relativity.
But, and this is where our cosmic mystery thriller takes a massive twist, there is a loophole. Consider the space-time loophole. You see, the really incredible thing about Einstein's equations is this. While they strictly 100% forbid moving through space faster than light, they actually say absolutely nothing about manipulating the fabric of space itself. The math, amazingly, predicts a way to bend the rules by folding reality. Think about it. If space is a flexible fabric, like a giant trampoline or a cosmic bedsheet, who says it has to lie perfectly flat all the time? If we can bend space, if we can stretch space and fold space, well then maybe, just maybe, we don't have to travel across the entire length of the fabric. We can just fold it up and punch a hole straight through it.
So the absolute crucial point here is defining exactly what that hole is. In the physics world, they call it an Einstein-Rosen bridge. To really visualize this, picture a completely flat piece of paper. Imagine taking a pen and making a dot on the top edge and then another dot all the way down on the bottom edge. To travel between those two dots, normally, you have to draw a long line all the way across the sheet, right? But what if you just take that paper and you fold it in half, so those two dots are suddenly touching each other? Then, you poke your pen right through both dots. Boom! That pencil hole? That is the Einstein-Rosen bridge. It is a theoretical cosmic shortcut. The physical distance you travel through the bridge is tiny, just a few steps, even though those two dots might be millions of light years apart in normal, unfolded space. You aren't actually breaking the speed of light, you're just taking a much, much shorter path.
Let's see how this actually builds, because, every door needs a sturdy frame. How do you anchor a massive cosmic bridge like this? Well, you need cosmic extremes. Let's look at the two sides. On one side, we have the entrance, A black hole. We know these exist. It's an immense, crushing, gravitational well where space curves infinitely inward, pulling matter in past the point of no return. But the equations suggest that to make the bridge work on the other side, there must be a cosmic reverse, an exit. And physicists call this a white hole. It's a theoretical phenomenon with an explosive outward force. Instead of pulling things in, it's constantly spewing matter and light out into the universe, and absolutely nothing can enter it. So you have this inescapable pull on one end, perfectly matched with this explosive push on the other. It's the ultimate cosmic doorway.
Now, forging this cosmic tunnel requires connecting those two absolute extremes together. But there's a catch. Actually, it's a huge catch. The original Einstein-Rosen bridges are what physicists call non-traversable. That basically means you can't travel through them. The mathematics clearly showed that the extreme gravity from the black hole would cause the tunnel to stretch out and snap shut faster than a single photon of light could even pass through it. Basically, if you tried, you and your spaceship would be instantly crushed into nothingness. So, how do we fix that? How do we make it traversable? Well, the math requires something incredibly weird called exotic matter. Now, this isn't normal matter like you and me or the stars. This is theoretical matter with negative energy. It literally has an anti-gravitational effect. So, if you would align the throat of the wormhole with this exotic matter, it would act like cosmic scaffolding. It pushes outward, completely propping the tunnel open against the crushing, collapsing weight of gravity.
All right, let's actually walk through the steps of what this journey would feel like. Imagine you're in the ship. First, you approach the gravitational distortion. Out the window, it doesn't look like a black void. It looks like a massive, spherical, glass-like lens that's completely warping and bending the starlight around it. You can almost feel this low, resonant hum of twisting space-time vibrating right in your chest. Second, you fall through the swirling tunnel throat. As you cross that threshold, which is lined with that bizarre exotic negative energy we talked about, you're suddenly surrounded by this ethereal, swirling glow. And here's a crazy side effect. Because space and time are the exact same fabric, passing through this tunnel opens up wild time travel possibilities. You might literally be stepping into a different era entirely. Finally, step 3. You emerge, instantly. The tunnel closes silently behind you, and you are suddenly staring at a completely unknown, deeply alien star system. Just like that, you've crossed the entire universe.
Okay, I know we're getting carried away here, so we have to pause our dramatic space journey for a moment of sobering reflection. Is this all just mathematical science fiction? Because look, just because an equation on a chalkboard mathematically allows for folding space and white holes and exotic negative energy, does that actually mean the physical universe builds these things? For decades, some of the greatest scientific minds on Earth have fiercely debated this. They argued over whether wormholes were merely ghosts in the machinery of Einstein's math, quirks of the equations, or if they possess the actual potential to exist out there in our physical reality. Can the fundamental rules of physics truly be manipulated in this way off the chalkboard and in the real world? To answer that massive question, we are going to dramatically shift the scene. We're going to move away from the sweeping, unimaginable scale of distant galaxies and zoom straight into a cutting-edge scientific laboratory right here on Earth. Because while astronomers have been pointing their telescopes at the heavens, scanning for giant gravitational wormholes, experimental physicists basically decided they were tired of waiting around. They wanted to test it now. They decided to see if the fundamental core principles of a wormhole, which is essentially creating an invisible shortcut to transfer something from point A to point B without crossing the normal space in between, could actually be replicated in a controlled microscopic environment. And the result of that ambition? A mind-shattering reality check. We're talking about groundbreaking magnetic wormholes. Scientists have actually successfully moved beyond purely theoretical physics. A team of researchers in Spain literally built a physical, spherical device. They used incredibly advanced metamaterials and superconductors, and this device acts as a functional magnetic wormhole model. In the lab, they successfully transferred a magnetic field from one end of a cylinder to the other, and they made it completely 100% invisible during its journey. To any magnetic detector trying to measure the physical space in between the 2 points, the magnetic field simply vanished at point A and instantly reappeared at point B. They literally created an illusion in the fabric of space. Now, I want to be super clear about this. This invisible earthbound shortcut is not teleporting human beings, and it isn't folding the actual gravitational fabric of space-time like a black hole would. But it proves something profoundly historically important. It proves that the underlying concept of a wormhole, the idea of a localized shortcut that alters the topology of a specific field so that things can travel invisibly and instantaneously from one point to another, that concept is scientifically viable in the real world. We have artificially replicated the incredibly complex math of wormholes using magnetism instead of gravity. The precedent hasn't just been theorized anymore, the precedent has actually been set.
Seriously, I want you to just think about what this means for the long-term timeline of human innovation. We are talking about laying the groundwork for revolutionizing cosmic exploration, starting right now at the quantum and magnetic levels. Sure, today, it's just an invisible shortcut for a magnetic field sitting on a lab bench. But what about 100 years from now? What about 500 years from now? If we can master the manipulation of these fields today and eventually learn to harness or artificially generate the immense gravitational forces and exotic matter required by Einstein's equations in the future, well, we go from being permanently stranded prisoners of the Milky Way to absolute masters of the cosmic ocean. It radically, fundamentally shifts our entire understanding of what our future as a spacefaring species might actually look like.
So, consider the entire journey we've taken together in this explainer. We started with the seemingly unbreakable speed limit of light. We discovered the hidden mathematical loopholes of relativity, we explored crushing black holes, and we even looked at magnetic illusions created by scientists in a lab on Earth. The universe is far stranger and, honestly, far more flexible than we ever dared to imagine. So I leave you with this. Could this incredible, mind-bending physics truly be the ultimate key to unlocking the stars for humanity? The door is out there, hidden deep within the math, just waiting for us to figure out how to turn the handle. I really hope this explainer has sparked your curiosity about this incredibly bizarre universe we live in. Keep wondering, keep exploring, and until next time, keep looking up.